Here are 10 facts you wouldn't believe about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Number 10. The Chocolate River. They said it was real chocolate, and it looked like they were right. However, something unexpected happened to the Chocolate River. When Gene Wilder first stepped onto the chocolate room set, he was breathless. It looked like a whimsical river flowing through edible grass and sugar trees. It wasn't just movie magic, it was a mind-blowing experience. According to the crew, the river was made from real chocolate, cream, and water. The art team thought it would make the scene look authentic under the studio lights, and it did, at least for a few hours. Then, the smell hit. The mixture spoiled under the heat, turning the studio into a swamp of sour dairy. Actors said it was unbearable. The Oompa Loompas waded through what one called brown stink soup. And that's not the only time the crew's realism went way too far. Number 9. The 100% shock. What if I told you the child actors had no idea of what was going to happen in your famous tunnel scene? Their reactions were real. Yes, those wide-eyed gasps when the factory doors swung open were totally unscripted. Director Mel Stewart wanted the children's reactions to be one of pure wonder, a genuine experience, not just realistic acting. So, he refused to let them see the set until the cameras rolled. The chocolate waterfall, candy trees, and the edible grass hit them so hard that they were lost in awe, just like a real child discovering a dream world. Even Wilder's eerie monologue in the tunnel scene was also unscripted. The kids didn't know what was happening. One of them later said, "We thought he'd lost it." But Wilder wasn't losing it. He had it under control. However, that's nothing compared to the next occurrence, which made the story even stranger. Number 8. Gene Wilder's one condition. Before filming, Wilder told the director he wanted Wonka's first appearance to be a lie, to make the audience unsure if they could trust him. He suggested limping out of the factory with a cane, moving slowly, then suddenly falling and flipping into a perfect somersault. He said, "I'll only do it if I can trick the audience from my very first step." That moment, invented by Wilder himself, became the blueprint for the entire character, which is unpredictable, magical, and slightly dangerous. Wilder also gave input on Wonka's costume. He wrote to the costume designer that Wonka should feel vain yet with all the oddity, but has strangely good taste. Something mysterious yet undefined. This ambiguity set the tone for Wonka's entire character. Playful, unpredictable, and possibly deceptive. Interestingly, while Wilder made the movie legendary, the man who created Wonka hated it. Number 7. Roald Dahl's issue. Roald Dahl, the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, was the original film's screenwriter. However, after writing the story, he walked away from it forever. But studio executives hired a second writer, David Seltzer, to rewrite the script and make it ready. They added songs, rewrote the ending, and even shifted focus away from Charlie and onto Wonka himself. Dahl was furious. He refused to promote the film and later blocked all sequels. For years, he never mentioned the movie again. To him, this children's dream had become a betrayal. Dahl was also deeply unhappy with Wilder in the role. His first choice had been Spike Milligan, and he also considered Peter Sellers. He felt Wilder was too soft and didn't match the darker, more eccentric edge he envisioned for Wonka. Dahl actually signed away a lot of control when the film rights were sold. This later fueled his regret, because many of his original ideas were overwritten or diluted by the studio. But if that shocked you, this next secret was locked away for decades. Number 6. The commercial flop. The movie barely sold any tickets, even though the chocolate in the factory was real and the effort put in was timeless. When Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory hit theaters in 1971, it earned just $4 million at the box office, only slightly more than its $3 million budget. Critics were confused. Some thought it was too dark for children, and others said it was too childish for adults. Despite the contrasting reviews, Wilder was nominated for Best Performance. However, after some time, it disappeared from theaters. But something strange happened in the decade that followed. Number 5. From flop cult classic. Even though the theaters did their part to make the movie popular, it was TV that immortalized it. In the late 1970s, American TV networks began airing Willy Wonka during holidays, especially around Thanksgiving. Families who had missed it in theaters finally discovered it at home. The colors popped and the song stuck. Gene Wilder's performance suddenly made sense. By the mid-1980s, it had become a cultural icon. In 2014, it was selected by the US National Film Registry as culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. And while the movie's fame grew, and people thought it was all sugar and smiles, the next fact solidified it all. Number 4. Charlie still gets paid. Peter Ostrom, the child actor who played Charlie Bucket, left acting right after the movie and became a veterinarian. Peter was 13 and turned 14 during filming when he landed the role of Charlie Bucket in the 1971 film. The film was his only acting credit. He never pursued a career in Hollywood. After the film was concluded, he even spent a week in California exploring acting and was offered a 3-picture contract, but he turned it down. But Hollywood never forgot him or stopped paying him. Decades later, Ostrom revealed to the New York Post that he still gets royalty checks for the movie, around $8 or $9 every quarter, a lifelong connection to a dream worth less than a chocolate bar. But here's a twist. You would think a movie this whimsical was filmed in some Hollywood studio, right? Nope, the real chocolate factory was hiding in a city you'd never expect. Number 3, it was built in Germany. Every brick, every bridge, every swirl of chocolate had to look otherworldly, so the filmmakers searched the globe for the perfect setting to build their factory. And they found one. Moving the production to Germany also helped to cut costs. The crew built the entire chocolate factory in a Munich warehouse in 1970. This was because the setting gave it a strange, timeless outlook. No visible landmarks, no clear nationality. It felt like a fairy tale floating in between worlds. Although it wasn't easy, the film often clashed with another production shooting next door, Cabaret. Crew members from both films shared sets, lights, and chaos. And amongst that chaos, one actor faced a challenge nobody else did. Number 2, couldn't see the camera. One of the grandfathers on screen was almost completely blind. Ernst Ziegler, who played Grandpa George, had been exposed to poison gas in World War I. It nearly left him blind. So, to help him act, the crew placed a small red light near the camera. He'd look toward it to keep his gaze steady in every single scene. Although every gentle smile, every glance toward Charlie was all done by instinct, you would never know it from watching the film. Ziegler's performance was indeed an act of silent courage. Speaking of silent brilliance, the film's most unforgettable character doesn't even appear until the movie is almost over. Number 1 appeared 45 minutes into the film. Just imagine a movie named after him, Wonka, and he's missing for nearly half of it. For 45 minutes, audiences followed Charlie's struggle, poverty, the golden ticket, and the buildup of mystery around the factory gates. But the delay wasn't accidental. According to Mental Floss, it was designed to make Wonka's appearance feel like a payoff. By the time he finally limps into frame, the audience is desperate to see him. That anticipation mixed with Gene Wilder's unpredictable entrance made the movie a classic, making it one of the many paradoxes of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a movie built on lies, chaos, and a spoiled chocolate river.